This plant is Spiraea Anthony Waterer. It's a great mid-sized flowering shrub. It's deciduous in the winter, actually has great fall color, and it blooms usually starting in May, finishes its first round usually in June or July. And I find that if I deadhead it, it will usually bloom a second time. So we're going to go through how to deadhead this plant in June or July. As you can see, there's plenty of deadheads on this thing. It's finished blooming, and we're going to look at two different ways to deadhead this shrub. I'm using a pair of scissor shears here to go in and essentially clear out the main bulk of the dead flowers. I don't like to over prune these plants, and when they're done I like them to look fairly natural. But I've found that there's so much bloom mass to clean out that if I don't use this method, I can be there for quite a while. So I'll start by getting most of these flowers cut off, and once I've got the bulk of them cleaned out, then what I'll do is I'll come back with my hand pruners and I'll start detailing the plant and remove the severe cuts. And I like to cut maybe 6 to 12 inches below the surface of the foliage so that most of the cuts that I've made don't show. I don't like these plants to look hacked up when I'm all done with them, and that's one of the general ways I like to prune, is get down into the plant and prune much lower than the foliage itself, and then that way those bigger branches that I cut don't show. So this is what it should look like when you're all done. It still has a natural feel, but it's not all balled up and sheared into a shape. The second way is to just use the hand pruning shears to go through the entire plant. And you basically start the same way. You take off most of the dead heads and then you start cutting down below the surface. I like to go, as I said, 6 to 12 inches below the surface and leave some natural tips up on top so that the plant has a finished look, but it still looks like it's been growing, like a good haircut.